Hey there. If these videos are helpful to you at all, if you derive any joy from listening to me swear about writing and publishing, please don't forget to like and subscribe and check out our Patreon. There's a link in the description. I'll be right back. Listen to David Childers. What is up, writer people? Welcome back to Writing Rants, Writer's Life, 10 Things I Hate About You. I don't know what the fuck we're calling this right now, but hi, I am your host. I'm John Hartness. I am the founder and publisher of Falstaff Books. I'm a writer, a publisher, a podcaster, an editor, and lately a goddamn furniture mover, which is why my room sounds pretty echoey, because I still don't have all the furniture back in my office. We just redid all the floors and the walls and the shelving, and that's also why I'm sweaty and I'm wearing my glasses instead of my contacts, and I've barely left the house for 2 weeks, except to go to a Comic-Con, and I'm going to another one on Sunday, so that means I have to load the truck tomorrow because it is Friday. All right, so here's the deal. I was working on coming up with another 10 Things I Hate About Your Writing video when I saw something from Writer Beware that made me say, nope, today I don't hate writing. Today I hate the publishing industry. All of it. Everyone. Not even close to true. But I hate scamming motherfuckers who scam. Here's the deal. And if you think I've said fuck a lot in videos before, Jesus, Harold Christ, you ain't seen shit yet. Let me break it down for you. We're going to talk about Yogg's Law and the concept that money flows to the writer. I might quote Harlan Ellison, I might not. Despite Tally's love for Harlan, I wasn't a fan. But here's the deal. I am a publisher. I run Falstaff Books. We are a small press. Some people call us an indie press. Some people call us a micro press. Some people call us a small press. Whatever. We are a traditional publisher. That means that to get a manuscript published by us, like these back here, these are books that we published. I wrote some of them. I did not write all of them. None of the rest, well, some of this stuff I published, nothing up here. To get a book published by Falstaff, you have to submit your manuscript either through a pitch session at a convention or an open submission period. The next open submission period will be January of 2021. We will be open for the month of January 2021. That's it. That's your window. So get your shit ready. But for us to pick up your book first, I or one of my other acquiring editors needs to read it and love it. You don't pay us to publish your book. None of the people that I publish have ever paid me or Falstaff Books as a business entity to publish their book. That's Vanity publishing. And it's typically very fucking predatory. The scam, a new scam came out today from Writer Beware. If you don't follow Writer Beware on Facebook and Twitter, push pause, go to your social media outlet of choice and follow Writer Beware. It's a service that is run in conjunction with SIFWA, the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers of America, and they are one of the preeminent ways that people find out about who's being an asshole. Not just like I'm an asshole saying nasty things to people. But sorry, I itch, I'm sweaty. It's furniture moving by a fat guy. It ain't pretty, y'all. Oh, sorry. I kicked the TV tray that I'm using as a tripod stand. Ooh, look. Blair Witch Project. Oh, look. Hang on. Look, we're NYPD Blue. Okay, I'll quit. So, go follow Writer Beware. But what happens with these vanity publishing scams is sometimes they'll solicit self-published authors and they'll say, hey, you have self-published a book. We now want to offer you a contract for this book. That does occasionally happen with legitimate publishers. We have republished books that have been self-published. The Herald of Day is a fine example of that. Some of my books are examples of that. Bellbridge Books, when they republished my Black Knight Chronicles, the first 3 were republications of originally self-published books. It does happen. Bellbridge Books didn't seek me out. I drove 8 hours to meet their publisher to suck up to her and pitch her on a book. She found it amusing. If you are a self-published writer and you get an email from a publishing company that says, we want to publish your book, there's a few things you should look for. First, you should go to their website and see what they publish. If they publish books that look as good as yours or better, then start having a conversation. If you can't see any books that they've published on their website, ask yourself why they aren't proud of the work they're producing. If the covers for the books that are on their website don't look better than the cover you've already got on your self-published book, ask yourself what they can bring to the table that you don't already have. If they say, all you have to do is pay us this much for a rewrite, then walk the fuck away. Better yet, run. Or just stand there like this and say, go fuck yourself, you fucking fuck. This is not how publishing works. Legitimate publishers do not ask for money from their writers. The only time writers pay money to Falstaff Books is when they buy print copies of their books to sell at their table at a convention. That's the only time my authors give me money. Or if they want to buy somebody else's book at a convention, but that's a corner case. If you have a publisher that says that you have to buy 500 copies of your book, you have to commit to buying 500 copies of your book, and then we'll offer you a publishing deal. That gets the same response as the other thing because it's bullshit. That is your publisher making money off of you the wrong way. My job as a publisher is indeed to make money off of my authors. I am a literary pimp, and my pimp hand is strong, motherfucker. So let me layeth the smacketh down, in the words of The Rock. Do not pay to be published. Yogg's Law says that money flows to the writer. That means that publisher pays writers. Writers don't pay publishers. Some people have used this to decry self-publishing, and I think by now everybody's pretty much smart enough to understand that that particular type of mental gymnastics is more bullshit, and it's a way that people used to use to look down on self-published authors. Well, yeah, fuck them too. But here's my thing. There are many ways in which these publishers will trap you. They will never, ever call themselves a vanity press. They will not call themselves a vanity publisher. Sometimes they'll use the term hybrid publisher. That's the new thing. and they talk about you making a financial marketing commitment to your book's success and you writing the publisher a check to market your book. Fuck you, you fucking fuck. Can I be any more crass or crude? Hey, kitty, you want to come say hello to people? Puck's right off screen. He has no interest. Hybrid publishers who ask authors for money, for marketing, or anything else, they're just vanity presses with a new name. It's a shiny new title hoping that you won't understand that they're not real fucking publishers. Real publishers take a risk with every book that we publish. Some of the books that we've published have not earned back what we've made on them. That does not mean that the author has not been paid their appropriate share of royalties for those books. They have. Or they will be if the book was published since the end of the last royalty period. Sorry, I had to figure out my wording. But if the book has come out in the fourth quarter of this year, then they haven't been paid yet because we're still in that period. They'll be paid at the end of February of 2020 because that's how it works. If the publisher asks for money, fuck them. If the publisher asks for a financial commitment to the marketing success of your book, fuck them. If the publisher asks you to commit to purchasing a certain number of books to secure a publishing contract, fuck them. That's bullshit. It's not how publishing works. And these people are charging you massive amounts of money. I've seen where people paid $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 to get their books published. I run a publishing company. I don't spend $15,000 per book. If I did, I'd be fucking bankrupt real fast. That is an exorbitant amount of money. They prey on your hopes. Here's some of the other code words that they use. They say that your book will be available for purchase in bookstores. That is correct. As long as your book is listed with Ingram, which is one of the major distributors of books in the United States, or Baker and Taylor, which is one of the other major distributors, your book is available for purchase in any bookstore in the United States on special order. Same as us. We're in the same boat as a small press because our books are typically not returnable, which means that most bookstores won't stock them without a special order or an event coming up. That's because the bookstore model of sales is fundamentally broken because the books that are on shelves, nobody's paid for. They're on consignment for 90 days. That means that the bookstore can send it all back. And then the publisher is stuck eating all of the money. For example, if we, Falstaff Books, prices a hardcover book at $28, not out of the realm of possibility. But wait, I have the math in my head for an $18 trade paperback. Okay, $18 trade paperback. Not that uncommon. Many of our titles are priced between $16 and $20 for a trade paperback version. Trade paperback is the 6x9 print size. What am I looking for? Yeah. Lawless Lands. This is a trade paperback. It's a 6x9 format. It retails for $17. We're going to raise the price for this example. If we make this book returnable in a bookstore, 75 days after the bookstore receives it, they can say, well, we're never going to sell this. We'll send it back. Now, that means that we have been credited $3.60 for the royalties for this book. This $18 book, we gave a 50% discount to the bookstore, and then we paid to have it printed. That typically leaves us with 20%. That's how we at Falstaff set our prices, because we pay the authors 10% of cover price. So the author gets 10%, Falstaff gets 10%, the printer gets about 30%, and the bookstore gets 50% minus shipping. So $3.60 has gone onto Falstaff's account as a credit for the royalty for that $18 book. That book gets returned. Now, we don't want people to just destroy the book. We want them to send the book back to us. So that means that for an $18 trade paperback, we're going to then get billed $11. That's the printing cost plus, no, it's not even the printing cost. We will get billed for the 50% that the bookstore paid for it, plus $2 to send it back to us. So we'll get billed $11. Now, if you take $3.60 away from $11, for every book that is returned, we have to pay $7.50. That's why small press books aren't typically available in bookstores. That's also why these bullshit vanity publishers are not going to make your books returnable, so your books also will not be in bookstores. Come up here and say hello. Puck doesn't care about publishing, but he does like cuddles. Hey, buddy, how you doing? You gonna hang out, or you? Nah, he's done. He's like, nah, fuck YouTube. So, yes, they will make your book available. They will claim that you are going to be under a 100% royalty plan. Yeah, they're fucking lying. So one, they don't get 100% royalty. They're going to sell the book to a distributor, and then they're going to get a piece of the proceeds from that. Then they're going to take their cut, and they're not going to call it a royalty. They'll come up with some other way to term it, but they're not going to. If they get $3.60, they're not giving you all $3.60. They'll probably give you, well, they might not give you anything. They're also typically going to give you a substandard royalty rate. I have heard of some of these vanity presses giving a royalty rate as low as 4% on off-cover price. That means that for a $20 book, you'd make 80 cents. That bullshit, y'all. So how do you know? How can you tell if a publisher is a fucking criminal or if they're reasonable? One, ask around. Look at their website, find their authors, email one, hit them up on Twitter, reach out to them on social media, say, hey, how do you like working with X publisher? You can find any of our Falstaff books, authors, their names are on the books, the entire catalog's on the website. Feel free to reach out to them on social media. Some of them are really good on social media, some of them less so. Reach out to any of them and ask how they like working with us. The same as any press. There will be people who don't like working with me. I'm sometimes a little irritable. And I say a lot of bad words. I'm a lot to take. I get that. But if I'm anything, I'm fucking ethical. So check them out. Check their sources. Look at the books they're producing on their website. Look at the books on Amazon. Look at where they fall in bestseller lists. Look at the big bestseller lists. Have they had anything on the New York Times list? Do they have any authors who have been on the New York Times list with other publishers? P.S. We do. Look, I'm proud of that. Do they have a presence at conventions or conferences that you can attend, or just that you've heard of? If you, for example, I live in North Carolina. If you look at the last 3 or 4 years of the North Carolina Writers Network, 1, I'm a member, and 2, I've been on faculty 3 times, I think, in the past 5 years. Yeah. I've been on faculty at the North Carolina Writers Network Fall Conference 3 times in the last 5 years. We are part of the writing community. Jason Graves at Prospective Press is part of their spring gathering every year. He's part of the regional writing community. You can poke around. It's like baseball or strip clubs. Y'all don't swing at the first pitch. All right, I've been going 20 minutes. That's about long enough for me to bitch. I've said fuck vanity publishers in about every way I can think of to say it. And I kind of got to pee. So I'm going to cut this off, and then I'm going to plug it all in and see how it sounds. And if it sucks, I'll have to redo the whole thing. So I hope it doesn't suck. Never, ever pay to be published. If you're going to do that, then just self-publish. There is no shame in self-publishing. There's nothing wrong with self-publishing. It is a perfectly valid career choice. There are books on this shelf and this shelf that are self-published books, and they are virtually indistinguishable. I challenge you, without knowing the author, to look at these books up here and be able to pick out which ones on this shelf are self-published. You can't, because you can self-publish in a very professional fashion and produce a product every bit as good as New York does. So if you don't want to go through the trials and tribulations of finding a publisher, then do it yourself. Spend some time on the internet researching and go through. You will take home more per book than with a traditional publisher. You will likely sell fewer copies. So typically it balances out. So if you don't want to work with a publisher, self-publish. Go for it. But don't live in the worst of both worlds, where you pay somebody a fuck ton of money to create a book when you could have self-published it for half to a quarter of that money, and then still get a smaller chunk of royalties if they don't stiff you on your money in the first place. So fuck vanity presses. Fuck hybrid presses. If you're going to publish, work with a legitimate traditional publisher. If there's anyone out there calling yourself a hybrid publisher who isn't an asshole vanity press with the VIN numbers filed off, I heartily apologize, and you should change your branding. Till next time, y'all be good to one another. All right?